Nigeria, with its huge population pegged at over 180 million, is the target for most countries proposing trade agreements across the world. But with Nigeria not a prominent manufacturing nation, leaders over the years have been very skeptical to enter into such agreements, which economic experts say will not favor the country but only make it a dumping ground for foreign goods. But inaugurating the committee to assess impact and readiness for the Africa Continental Free Trade Area Agreement, President Muhammadu Buhari believes that collaboration with African countries is key.
While we must look inward for certain solutions, we have not lost sight of regional and international trends, especially on trade, where global dynamics are shifting and changing at a rapid rate. This means that we plan for the long term. We must also be flexible enough to respond to short-term shocks that could upset our economic diversification and backward integration plans.
The President advised members of the committee to look at some of the key challenges that are likely to affect the smooth implementation of the trade agreement.
Abuse of rules of origin. B. Smuggling arising from difficulties in border controls. C. Unqualified impacts of legacy preferential trade agreements. D. Low capacity and capabilities of local business to conduct international trade.
Chairman of the committee and Minister of Trade and Investment, Okechukwu Enelema, says the agreement will not only boost trade but strengthen bilateral ties among African nations.
The African Union Commission, the United Nations Economic Commission for Africa, and the Rockefeller Foundation are organizing the African Trade Forum, ATF, as a major stakeholder engagement and sensitization forum. The forum will focus on how the implementation of the African Continental Free Trade Area Agreement can be positioned to provide a platform for addressing Africa's development challenges to industrialize, grow African economies, create jobs, and reduce poverty, if not eradicate poverty completely.
The members of the committee are drawn from the organized private sector, paramilitary, and government ministries, departments, parastatals, and agencies, among others. The concept of Africa Continental Free Trade Area will certainly boost manufacturing and trade within the African continent and its various sub-regions. But with many African countries deeply in bilateral romance with China and the West, what economic expert and international affairs analysts will be asking is, how prepared is Africa for this? From the Aso Rock Presidential Villa, I'm Ikaro Atta, ITV News, Abuja.